All right, friends, welcome to Relay. Your friends Peter, Erica, and I, Lindsey, are here to discuss the world of running in the past week. I just got back
You
from the
do
Donna.
not sound excited enough for indoor track. Indoor track is back. It is happening.
Well, I just got back from the Donna Marathon weekend, and it was,
Oh, okay. Interesting.
listen, this is the best finish line of all finish lines. And I am
Ooh.
not the race announcer at this finish line. It's so good. This is a race that was created to support breast cancer patients and research. The founder, this is the 19th running, and the founder, Donna Deegan, she's actually the mayor of Jacksonville, Florida now.
Whoa.
She's a 3-time breast cancer survivor. And when right before she was diagnosed for the 3rd time, she founded this race because she was a news anchor, and she would get all these people saying like, I'm so glad you're doing well. I can't afford to pay my bills. I'm going through this as
Oh, wow.
well. My medical bills are so high. So she literally started this foundation to help people in her position that didn't have the privilege that she had to be able to pay for the things that she needed to pay for. So they have a care line where they support people walking through a diagnosis, and then they also work with the Mayo Clinic to fund research. So this entire marathon is just for this foundation. That is what the entire race is for. And I stood at that finish line from start to finish yesterday, and it was one of the most inspiring things I've ever done. I go to the race every year, but I
Oh,
never stay at the finish line all day. And through 7 hours, that finish line, people are dancing, and they bring in a fraternity and a sorority locally to like cheer at the finish line. And they have like
Incredible.
tunnels. I mean, for people walking in at 7 hours, like you are greeted just as enthusiastically as the last finisher as you are the first, which as a race announcer, I try to do that for every participant too. But you can only hype it up so much if you
hmm.
don't have, if you don't have a crowd.
Mhm.
So if people aren't there, the welcome, no matter how excited the announcer is, the welcome is just not as exciting. But those Sigma News, man, they brought the energy.
That's
Amazing.
incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome. So anyway,
That's awesome. Wait, so what?
that
I don't know much about the race. What is it multiple distances? Is it, it always
yeah.
happens this time of year?
Yeah, so they have a 5K on Saturday, and then they have a half marathon and a marathon on Sunday. They also have like an distance where you can do each event, and it's the people that run the 5K, they then go run like 80 miles
Come
that
again?
day. Yeah, yes.
Oh,
And then they complete the marathon. So they like run
Whoa.
through the night. Yes.
oh.
And the
It's
whole event is for this foundation.
yes.
That's
I love
incredible.
running because it can sound like
Yeah.
you got it wrong, but it's actually just a different event. Like,
Right.
what if you
Yeah.
just run through the night? You're like, no,
Well,
it's a
and
different event. Okay.
whenever you finish, actually the 100-mile people might start on Friday night, but whenever you finish your 80 miles, whatever the rest time is, like between that and the marathon start time, like some people run straight through, some people have like a 5-hour break. It just depends on how long it takes you to complete your 80 miles.
Yeah.
Um, and the first female to complete the 100-mile challenge was an adaptive athlete. She was
Wow.
in a chair. So yeah, it was just like so cool. So yeah, it's a super special event. I think it was the biggest they've had ever. Like 10,000 people were there. And
That's huge.
yeah,
That's
it was
incredible.
it was really cool. So that being said, I know Millrose Games was this weekend, and one of the athletes I coach who ran Donna, I usually run it with her, but I wasn't able to because of my foot. She's texting me, and she's at the airport. I'm at the airport, and she's like, "The mile's about to start." So I watched the mile walking through the airport on my phone with my head down, like one of
Look at
those
you, little
dopes.
runner nerd. Yeah, just bumping
Yeah,
into people.
I was even standing in
Um,
line in the bathroom watching it.
That's hardcore.
that's really hardcore. You're like, yeah, you're just going to be that lady that everyone's like, hey, excuse me, ma'am. Like, hey, hey.
Yeah, what's going on here?
Well, I don't know about you. I was very excited to be watching track and field again. And I realized it gets I can get very specific. It's the fall of like road racing and all these amazing races, but like it's harder to tell in those camera angles, like what's really going on. You're like,
Mm,
maybe who, Whereas just watching some of the incredible races on the Armory track with those angles, you're kind of like, I don't know, man. That guy looks like he's drifting, or like it seems like he went too early. And that was just, it had been, I don't know, 6 months since I had geeked out on that level of like he's got it, or like, and then what I love is that, I'm not close friends with Kara Goucher, but having gotten to know her better when she was on relay, she also does those things. She's like, so and so's chopping her stride. She's in, she's ready to go. I would wait for, I think there's one more move. And it's just
No,
super,
Kara's
super fun.
like
So,
such a good announcer, but also like
Mhm.
terrifying because she's so good
Yeah.
that you're like,
uh-huh.
she can smell fear. So
Yeah.
you're like,
Oh.
she can see it in your eyes from like 3 miles away if you're like
Uh-huh.
not in it.
You're like, what's
You're
she
like,
gonna say about
I'm just trying to
me?
hold it together here.
She knows.
She also makes
I love
mistakes and
listening to
corrects
Kara
herself
announce.
really fast. I was like,
Yeah.
she was
Oh.
like the 800. I meant to say the 2 mile. And you're like, I mean, you have a lot going on. Like, how'd you do that?
And then she just carries on.
Did she, I don't know if you can see it. I'm not that amped up at like she is. She was on camera and had a lot of adrenaline going. And my wife was sitting next to me watching part of the races. She's like, man, that vein in the center of her forehead really
Oh.
gets going.
She's really into it.
And I think Kara and I even had a moment on relay where we both commiserated that when we get like
I feel
super
like I remember her
excited.
talking about that.
Because yeah, she just like, she brings her whole heart and all passion to, she's a previous
To
winner of that race. And there you go.
I mean, Kara brings her whole heart and passion to everything she does, if we're being honest.
That's very true.
Yeah. Well, I thought so I don't have a lot to say about it because I only watched the mile.
It's okay.
I really thought when Jess Hole was making a move on Nikki Hiltz, I thought she was gonna catch them, and then at the end, when she was, like, the straightaway and Nikki started picking it up, I was like, there's no way.
Mm.
There's
Oh
no
yeah.
way Jess has it." Like, because she was gaining, gaining, gaining. I thought she was gonna make this smooth pass, and then Nikki's kick just did Nikki's kick, and it was gone, you know?
Yeah. Also, I adore how track and field, like different storylines evolve very quickly. I was like, here's Sinclair Johnson in her debut in her Hoka
I
kit. Here we
know.
go. And then you're like, uh-oh. She's like leading the field out and waiting
But
for everyone to make
again,
their move.
we don't know what anybody's, like how Erica was saying, like Houston, she was like way ahead of where
Oh,
she thought
sure.
she was going to be. It's like we have no idea what any of these people, especially like these first indoor meets of the year. It's like we have no idea where she's coming from,
It's
you
not
know?
so much, yeah, and so what I meant, I guess, is that, like, I'm like, "This is the storyline I'm excited for," and then in a half a lap, I just throw that storyline out, and you're like, "Okay, next storyline," like, Sinclair, either didn't race or isn't in the fitness she wanted. That's okay. It's not the end. It's like just it's one race. That's what makes it fun. And then all of a sudden you're like, "So who has the kick?" And here we go. Wait, I wanted to rewind for a second, though. Erica, did you get a chance to look at the women's 2 mile at all?
No.
Okay,
Like
so
2 mile from like Millrose or like
yeah,
New
the
Balance?
Millrose
Because
2
we like
mile.
missed
Oh,
New
yeah.
Balance Grand
Oh my
Prix.
gosh. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot to
Because
cover.
we had a special episode last week, but like
Yeah.
the return of Ellie
Mm.
St. Pierre,
Yeah.
Oh my
unbelievable.
gosh.
Still not over it.
So
Oh
bring us
my
back there
gosh.
because that's the high watermark of women's indoor distance running right now.
Yeah, you say 2 mile, I'm like, I'm still thinking about Ellie or 3K.
That's awesome. Yeah, exactly.
No, I didn't have the
Um
emotional capacity to move on from that yet. Tell me about the Millrose
Rightfully
2 mile.
so.
Yeah. No, I mean, and then apparently it is a very confusing sport to follow because you start to see these like like I saw an Instagram story that Grant Fisher was pulling out. He wasn't feeling well. And then you see,
Mm.
I don't even know where I read. Maybe it was Allison Wade Fast Company that Ellie came down with something this past
Yeah,
week. And so
for
she
this
ran really
race.
well.
Mhm.
And then she wasn't able to participate in this race. The freshman Jane Hendrigan like was leading
Mhm.
the 2 mile for quite a while. And then you're like, I think in a good way. I don't love if freshmen are winning huge races too much because like where do you go from there? So it's like kind of fun to see a prodigy get past because that means there's room to improve in moves and in fitness. So, yeah, very intense racing and like, record chasing. But you're right. It's a very, I don't know. I try not to over extrapolate how much you think about like what this means or that means or it means for outdoor. I try to just appreciate like indoor races individually for what they are.
Yeah. And, like, speaking of, like, trying to extrapolate things, I didn't realize that my, like, minor obsession with Habtum after NCAA cross country would still be haunting me through the winter.
Yeah. Yeah. Turns out he's
Like,
pretty good.
turns out he's really good. I also, like, was so confused when he was, like, in Houston because I just assumed he graduated. And
Oh
there he
gosh.
is, like,
Yeah.
at Millrose in his college jersey. And I was like, "Am I missing something?" And he
Daniel.
wasn't wearing a hat indoors, which I think
Okay.
would be
That's a missed
incredible.
opportunity.
I know. That's his whole
um,
thing.
that can become his thing. He set the collegiate record in the men's 2 mile, and he
Okay.
was fully buried back in the pack. I mean, it was just such a star-studded field. Um, but he, I'm not sure if you were on that call when we were debriefing NCAA cross country. Erica had picked him out as the guy who was going to win purely because he was wearing a backwards hat.
Love it.
In
Perfect.
the
just,
rain.
just
So,
yeah, in the rain.
like,
He
it
was
In
was
like
the
the
rain?
all for
swagger.
the aesthetic.
Like, why is
Yeah.
it backwards? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like he's a very good runner and he excelled. And so now he's just racking up in, more NCAA, I guess, running, but he's also, ran a great half marathon. So you're
Just,
like,
like,
and that
casually
doesn't,
won the Houston half,
you're
Wow.
like,
like,
wait a second.
at the
How are we
beginning of his
supposed to,
indoor season.
how do you feel about watching these races, Erica? Because I think that they tend towards pointing towards world records and they couldn't help but be like, maybe we'll see another sub 8 performance, which is totally bonkers because only 2 guys have
Yeah.
ever gone sub 8. And you have enough runners, I mean, championship runners, Olympic champions, world champions, that for the men's race, they were like, maybe we'll see sub 8. And then you quickly realize like they're not really incentivized to be
Mm.
the one who pushes the pace and then gets past towards the end. Like,
Right.
in soft focus in the background of like someone else's championship photo coming across the line. So yeah, pretty quickly it was like, oh, Cole Hawker's leading and they're not no one wants to take the pace really. They are all
Yeah.
falling in line. So yeah, I don't know. It lends itself towards racing, which was super exciting, but it gets built up as like, oh, they didn't set the world record and run something totally insane. And you're like, yeah, that's okay. Like
Which, like,
sport doesn't only
honestly
need to be
might
about that.
be good for everybody because this, like,
Yeah.
I feel like for the last few years, it's almost like getting whiplash with, like, all the world records with, like, just the shoes and everyone being so fast and every field being so deep. It's like every race was, like, a world record attempt, and there were so many records that were, like, reset, which is super cool, but, like, what about the good old days where the record was, like, 20 years old and, like, people
Really
were
out there.
really chasing it down and, like, it meant something? Not that it doesn't mean anything anymore. Like, a world record will still get you paid, and it's still a huge headline, but, like, they're kinda more special when they're, like, rare instead of, like,
Yeah.
every
Mm.
3 months. So, like, I
It
think
used to
it'll
be a
be good
thing.
for the sport if they don't reset the world record every year.
Yeah, it used to be that like if someone was having a great season, then you'd hear, oh, they're going to go to Monaco and they're going to have
Mhm.
particular pacing that's sort of outlandish, but is like indicative of where they're at. And it's a special moment and they're going to chase it versus like, and a world record.
And then, like, 2
And,
weeks later.
yeah. And you're
It's
just
like,
like,
"Let's try again."
did make it on social media that a 16-year-old boy from Australia ran a 3:48 mile. And I just think talk about
That's
awkward, Erica.
insane.
Like, I mean, those are moments where I'm like, I'm glad I don't know. I'm glad I don't socialize with many professional men,
That's
professional
funny.
running men, because I'd be like, so what are you thinking about this season?
Mhm.
Gonna run this, gonna try
As,
to
like, a
break that
professional
six.
miler.
Yeah. You're like, I know you take your job seriously and you're trying to get within spitting distance of a 16-year-old boy from Australia. Like, what are we talking about? I mean,
Mhm.
we have American male marathon milers who run quite a bit faster than that. Like our yards of the world are doing well. But I
Mhm.
mean, we also have quite a few names that I won't mention who are sponsored athletes who do not routinely run 3:48 for the mile.
Right, but like you can just run a good 3:50 and win. So like
Yes,
the
true,
time
true,
is like
exactly.
incredible, but it doesn't mean you're gonna win everything. And like winning is also important.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I always just wonder when you have like a standout athlete like that in high school, like what is gonna happen with this kid? You know what I mean? Like,
His
what
contract
is
is
this
gonna
gonna
be
turn into?
crazy because there's
Well,
usually like PR bonuses, but what if you ran
no.
3:48 at 16?
This is where
Wild.
the comparison trap is just nutty because, like, all of a sudden, it was only how many months ago we were like, Cooper Luchtenhaus is the, American hero
He
teenager,
still
and now you're
is.
like,
He's not
he still
Australian.
is. No, and he won his
Yeah.
race at Millrose in a well executed race. But you're
In
like,
the battle of
oh no, it's time.
16-year-olds, we can still hold our own.
Oh
It's just
my
like,
gosh.
um,
Well, and,
Wild.
and I
yeah, I
wonder
don't
like
know.
what kind of training are these kids doing? I mean, that's intense, like how it's just the age old question. Don't
What's the
burn
age old
out.
question?
I know.
Oh,
Don't
okay.
burn
Oh,
out.
yes. Sorry, you can definitely peak in like between 16 and
That's
18.
what I'm
And
saying.
Peter,
what
what
Like,
did
happened to that?
you think the age-old question was when Lindsey said
Yeah, I was
that?
like,
Because I was like, is this a threshold thing? Because
yeah,
that's been really
exactly.
popular.
Yeah,
well,
that's
no,
been really,
I was just because I was about to say it and spit it out, and then I was like, oh gosh, this is such an over
no,
conversated
it's okay.
topic of like the
I thought you were going to say like, how
overtraining.
much bicarb is too much bicarb? Like,
It's
I
just
will
like, are
say,
they gonna get burned
oh,
out? Are they gonna peak too
sure.
soon or, whatever? And hope not, but I always wonder that when kids get really, really good when they're really, really young.
A point against your point about burning out is the fact that Cam Myers won the Wanamaker Mile. So he's an Australian wonder kid who,
Okay. A
you
wonder
know,
kid.
he was the youngest, fast dude from Australia, and now there's a new young fast dude, and now he's, you know, a little bit older, still not very old, and he won the Wanamaker Mile. So you're like, all right, like there's room to grow, but yeah, it's a lot of pressure. I liked how Cooper Luchtenhaus gave a post race interview where he's like, "Man, now being a professional athlete, I really have to run my hardest to even be in the race."
He's like, I used to be able to jog these 800s,
I
in
mean,
high school.
That's so
if you
real.
want some fun, go on YouTube and watch some of his high school races
It's just a
where he like
complete joke.
sits in the cut and then he like opens up with 250 to go and he
All
finishes
right,
like
see you later,
75
guys.
meters. Yeah. And
As
you're
you
like,
should. If you're like a
yeah,
prodigy in high school, that's like enjoy your talent.
have some
Yes.
fun. Yeah. I know. I'm like, I hope he still is able to have some fun somewhere because the bar got a lot higher really
Yeah,
fast.
this is serious business now for sure.
Okay. I know that we're not trying to get our hopes up too fast, too soon, but did you see that Rosine Willis,
Mhm.
who
Rasheen.
left Stanford apparently, she set the American record in 157. And so I'm like, what? I mean, apparently she knew she was fit. She ran well last week at the New Balance meet and then added the BU meet, runs an American indoor record. And you're like, again, I can't help. I really try to contain my mind to like, that's amazing. And not just like, what's this mean for the outdoor season? But we know that the women's 8 is bonkers. Um,
I think it
so
bodes well. I
yeah.
feel like she had enough like ups and downs at Stanford, but like her ups and downs were like more of like a mental thing versus like
Mm,
every time she like maybe she had a couple like down races, but she like took time for herself and every time she came back, she was still so good. Like she
mm.
never really had like a long stretch where she was like bad at the 800. It was just like she's not in the right headspace for like competition right now, but I think this bodes well. And she's
Okay.
no longer in school. It's
I
full
was gonna say,
time. So like I
did sh
think this will be a good thing for her.
did she join Mark Coogan's group?
Oh,
There's
look
no
at you.
formal announcement, but she was like a New Balance NIL and she posted like months ago that she was like leaving Stanford and going pro and then kind of went ghost and then came
Okay.
back and set the American record. So who knows?
Well,
We'll find out.
there's a picture floating around social media with her and a bunch of women and Mark Coogan and Ellie in the picture
Mhm.
as well. And I'm like, is this a new, because that group kind of like everybody kind of moved on a little bit. A lot of people did. And I'm like, is this maybe the new like
I mean, they
crop of
signed like
women?
6 people.
Yeah.
It's like a whole new squad, but like they're great.
Thinking about that women's 8, curious your advice. I realized I don't always know how to have the conversation with a pro runner. So
You
a
have
few
one
days before,
at your disposal here. She can
yeah,
help
I
you
need some
out.
advice. I was at baggage claim in San Antonio the week before CIM.
Why are you doing these things in the strangest places?
Because these are the running spaces I end up in. I'm like waiting for my bag to come out, and I turn to my right, and my brain's like, "That's Isabella Whitaker. That's Bella Whitaker." Like, and I'm like, but in that case, big fan of her running. She ran
Right.
well this weekend. I couldn't figure out what the next, like, she didn't just perform at the Olympics and, like just finish off the podium. Like, I felt like guy to guy, I could be like, Bryce, great running, big fan. Whereas I was like, well, she's a younger woman. I can't recall exactly what her most recent accomplishment was.
Oh,
So I just
sure.
let it lie. I was just like,
You
just didn't say
anything.
hello. But I feel like pro
Oh.
runners need as much. You got to gas them up. We got to give some love when we can. But I didn't know
What
what
would
to
you
say.
prefer, Erica?
I mean, I don't think you have to like reference their most recent performance to tell them that you're a fan and like you love watching them. You know what I mean? Like,
Okay.
just say
I
like
appreciate. I'm taking this to heart, but
you're going
maybe
too
I'm just
hard with like the stats. No one wants to
okay.
hear
Yeah.
about their own stats. I promise you, they're well aware of their current situation. But like, if you're a fan,
I'm a big fan of your third lap running in the indoor race.
Like, hey, remember that race from 2017? That like last 1200 was not pretty. Like, no one wants to hear that.
Okay.
Even if
fair.
But yeah, like if you're a fan of them, tell them you're a fan. Everyone likes to feel loved or feel that like people enjoyed watching them compete. Like, oh, like, you know what I mean? Just say you're a fan. Because like you can choose any 800 runner. So to know that like one more person might be cheering for you in that race in the stands is like nice to know.
That's fair. I think I got also a little bit confused with her sister. I was like, am I absolutely positive?
Right, because they both
that's also, that's separate. That's just like a human issue.
Yeah.
Don't make sure it's the right sister.
Yeah, exactly. I
can't
didn't want
help
to
you
pour
with
on
that.
the love, but
Literally.
It's not common that two sisters both run pro, though. So, I mean.
Well, not they're that good.
Yeah.
I feel like there are for
in the
sure
same-
siblings out there, but like siblings that are that unbelievable.
Wait, Lindsey, you're
can't be
right.
normal.
I think there was there was poor service at the baggage claim, and I was like, I can't look her up. I don't know which sister I'm looking at.
You don't know which sister it is.
I couldn't be positive, and I didn't want to make it awkward, so I just said,
if you're listening, come forward. Let us know which sister was at baggage claim in San Antonio.
Which Whitaker sister was in San Antonio.
I know which it was now because I have internet access, and I know that Isabella or Bella is the one sponsored by On, and that was very clear from her, attire. But
okay, that's where you're wrong because they're both On.
Oh dear! See, this is why I just kept my mouth shut. Damn it! I have no idea who I saw.
Zero favors. Wait, that's so funny. Yeah, I'm on Juliet's Instagram right now, and they literally have a video of them in their On kits, like together. It's like I thought they were both
at running.
Yeah, they're really good.
Oh man.
Yeah, no, that's interesting. So, like every time someone meets Erica, they're not like that run in Houston was really good. Like you don't always have to bring up like the standout performance or the most recent.
She would just turn deadpan and go, which performance?
Yeah, which one? Because I just killed the half. I'm way ahead of schedule.
No, honestly, please bring up Houston. But like plenty of people have brought up Tokyo, and they brought it up in like a positive way because they were like, that was like hardcore, like that was like inspiring or this or that. But like for me, that was like a horrible day and like such a rough experience that it's like, I don't know, it's unsettling. Because like they're so happy and they're like trying to like convey these like positive feelings, and I'm like doing my best to receive them, but I'm also just like reliving my war stories.
What if you just like straight faced were like, oh, what happened out there? I don't like I blacked out the third hour in entering the third hour. What
no, literally. I didn't make it to 3. I finished sub 3.
No, sorry.
But-
In that third.
Oh, yeah.
Like, yeah,
She's
sorry,
like,
no,
wait
no,
a
no.
minute,
2 hours,
wait a
I was
minute,
done.
hold on.
No, people have been very nice, but it is like definitely more uncomfortable when they say something super specific
Right.
versus just like, oh, like
Hey.
it's way less weird and like, oh, I follow you on Instagram, or like I've seen you around Boston, or like this or that, or like, oh, I listened to Relay, or I saw you at this like event, versus
Okay.
like, hey, I watched you in this one race. And I'm like, oh God. Like, first off, how did I do?
Yeah. I recall all of your splits from that half marathon you ran. You'd be like, okay,
Yeah,
this I need some
You're like,
space from this
I
person.
don't, you know me better than I do.
Is it different being a pro runner than like, I imagine if you're a pro basketball player, people are like, that guy's probably a pro basketball player. Like
Yeah, you
he's
really stand out.
But like you roll up Erica in jeans and, you know, your whole style, and they're like, feel like I've heard of
I
this
do
woman.
get the like, we feel like you do something, but we don't know what it is. Which
Yeah, for
honestly,
sure.
I'm like here for the ambiguity. There's like honestly nothing that
I
makes me
love that.
happier than when like middle-aged women are like, oh my God, you're so fit. What do you do? And then I have to
Oh,
like
yeah.
unfortunately tell them I run a lot. And they're like, oh, because
Yeah.
they're like, what Pilates class are you doing? But like
Yeah,
to get praise from that group, I'm like, I'm doing okay.
yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be good.
You're like, do
Yeah,
you
you're
run
like,
a lot of miles?
I went to
Yeah.
one sculpt Pilates class once, but I mostly run a lot of miles.
Mostly just a lot of running.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can be a
That's
little more
amazing.
incognito. You put the hat on too, just kind of like,
When we were in college once, we had this bus driver at one of our meets, and I can't, one of my like, most of my team was actually like relatively tall for like women, like 5'7" and up. But like me and someone else who was not super tall got on the bus, and the bus driver was like, you guys a volleyball team? And we were like, us? Like, for sure not.
like, what? Have you ever seen?
But
a
that was
volleyball
nice.
player?
I'm like, I appreciate, I mean, like, I could be like a bolero, but like,
Yeah, yeah.
no.
You're
Is
really
it a
agile.
bolero? I feel like that's a hat.
No, but it's close.
Is
It's
it
a
also like
bolero.
the short one?
No, yeah, no, you're right about that. But I can't remember what it's called. It's something very close to that.
Yeah.
I have two
we'll just
friends whose daughters are volleyball players.
go with it. Yeah, but like I could be the short one.
Will you
What is
explain this
it?
to me? What's this capacity? What's this
It's
role?
like the person that calls the position.
They can only be in the back,
Oh.
and they're like really, really good at like defense, but they're
Mhm.
not allowed. Yeah. I forget. I just know they're short. And they're very
libero.
libero.
Oh,
I was saying
yes.
bolero, which is, I think, a
They-
hat or a
Yeah.
vest.
Yeah, libero. They focus
And they do that
on
thing where they jump and they get their hand between the ball and the ground.
Yeah, they're
almost
really,
like,
really good at defense. They're usually little.
yeah, specialized defensive player restricted to the back row wearing a
Yep.
different colored jersey.
Yeah.
that's what the different color. I've always been like, why is one?
They're
person in a
usually the
different colored jersey?
shortest, most agile, and best passers on the team.
I could be a libero.
Libero,
I see this in
you should
your.
just tell people you're a professional
capacity.
libero volleyball player. When they
That'd be cool.
do that.
Nope,
In another
not
lifetime.
the marathon. Libero. Wait,
Libero.
speaking of different sports, the opening ceremonies for the Winter Olympics are kicking off on Friday, I believe.
Wait,
and I was
did you want to talk
curious-
about IU football again?
Yeah, I was really hoping to talk
We're
about
done with football season.
both this weekend is the opening ceremonies, and it's also the Bad Bunny performance on
the
Sunday.
Bad Bunny
show.
concert.
The Bad Bunny concert. And are there any sports that you are eager to be passionate about, or which sports are you, open to being drawn into?
From
or
the
will you
Winter
just not pay
Olympics.
attention? Yeah. It's
Oh
like,
my God, the Winter Olympics are so fun because I just feel
Yeah.
like they're not like random, but like I just don't watch those things very often. But I get so
Right.
excited when the Winter Olympics roll around because I forget how sick like ice skating is. Like,
Oh yeah,
Unbelievable. It is so, so fun to watch. And the Team USA's team for ice skating this year is sick. Like they've got some really,
Yes.
really cool young people on it, and I'm like so, so stoked to watch them. And then obviously Anna Gibson on mountain skiing, ski mountaineer. I'm not entirely sure what it's called, but like our resident hybrid athlete going from conquering the trails and also like low-key always qualifying for USA's on the track to just like
Yes.
becoming a Winter Olympian in this brand new sport.
Lindsey,
We love that.
and Lindsey's eyes are indicating she's not following. Can we fill her in
not
and the
following.
listeners in?
Not following. Phil,
Do you know who Anna Gibson is?
No.
She's a professional runner for Brooks. I'll just give that shout out. She is really, what do you lead with? She has run at the U.S. track trials in the 1500.
Yes.
And then is in a total crusher on uphill running in particular, short course trail runner.
Okay.
And then
I'm looking her up.
it's almost like she's like a
U.S. track finalist in the 15.
Yeah.
Oh.
But also like world class on the trails. She's also like from Utah, trains there. And there's a new skiing event this year at the Winter Olympics. And Anna also skis a ton as like cross training and then like got into this and had the opportunity. She like went to some camp and like did really well. And then Team USA had not qualified for this new ski sport. So they had to qualify by winning the World Cup, or at least, no, they had to beat Team Canada at the World Cup in this mountain ski thing. And Anna and her partner won the whole thing, which obviously since they won, they beat everyone, including Team Canada, which got them the berth at the Olympics. And now they're going to compete in Italy. And it's just like,
wow.
So, but it's also like, this is a side quest for trail runner Anna. But
right.
like,
I know.
Obviously not a side quest in like the life story of Anna Gibson. She's so cool. She's so interesting. And she's like pretty young. But it's just like a very fun story to like watch unfold.
I was volunteering at a trail race last spring and she showed up to it, and you're just like, your brain is like, I know these are all humans, but this person is different. And then she just springs up the hill and you're like, bye. Like you're
like
gone.
when she graduated a couple years ago and was like literally going like trail race, track race, trail race, track race. And she was like podium in the trails and then like PB on the track and like competing with these full-time like track athletes, but then like dominating on the mountains. You're like, who is this? And like, what is the plan? And it's like, there doesn't need to be a plan. She, like, whatever she's doing is the plan. And it's sick.
I can't be the only one listening that doesn't know of her. So I'm excited that we are giving our listeners someone really fun to cheer for in the Winter Olympics.
She's a great athlete. And I get how endurance sports, like there's a central theme there, but the track trials in Eugene and the uphill kilometer on a mountain, and those are pretty far apart, even for runners.
Yeah. And then do it on skis. It's incredible. So like that'll be super fun to watch. It's a brand new like addition to this year's like Winter Olympic lineup. So it's also like it'll be new and fun for everyone. And we have someone to like cheer for from the running community. I mean, snowboarding, half pipe, Chloe Kim. Thankfully, her like shoulder is healed, so we get to watch her do her thing again.
This is why you're here. All the deep cuts about sports that I wasn't following closely enough. I mean, I know Chloe Kim is, but I wasn't up to date on her.
But like a few weeks ago, she like fell or like had a crash during practice and was like had to go to the hospital, had to get an X-ray, and it was like, will she be okay in 3 weeks? And it's like she's cleared. I don't know if it's healed, but like she's cleared to go. She seems excited, and honestly, the last Winter Olympics were actually really close because like Chloe Kim didn't win until like her last run. She had like missed a couple times or like had a couple like falls, but it was very suspenseful because there were some other really good women. So it'll be super fun.
Yeah.
What's the downhill? I want to watch the skiing where they like flip off of things. They go down and they flip. They flip.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I'm talking about? What is it?
I don't know what it's called.
I don't know. That's what the one
aerial.
I like to watch the most, though.
Yeah.
Huh.
And then bobsled. That's always interesting. I actually read Lolo Jones's book and to learn about her doing bobsled.
Wow.
Yeah.
It always seems like the transition from being a sprinter to being a bobsledder feels easier to say than to do. You're like, yeah, it's the similar,
I mean, it would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Like that's a terrifying. I guess the luge is the really scary one, but like, I feel like the bobsled would be very scary.
I
think they're all scary.
They're all scary. And then I just have to imagine if you're a very, very fast athlete who's used to spending her time on a track in Texas, like the scariest thing going over a hurdle or something, let's say. Then you're like, you
Yeah.
find yourself at the top of a luge
I
of
mean,
a
have you guys
bobsled
seen
course.
the
And you're like,
videos
what?
of the Boston cop slide?
No.
That's what like all those events are for me at the Winter
That's
Olympics.
true.
It's
Wait,
literally just
Lindsey,
a
have
bunch
you
of
not seen
variations of
this?
the Boston cop slide.
No.
There's a metal slide, Erica, great deep cut, in the Boston area where they got complaints that it was dangerous, like the way it's been designed. And so then, like, bless their hearts, two patrol officers went and checked it out, quote unquote. One of them filmed as their buddy went up and slid down, and he just comes flying out upside down and goes rocketing across the ground. This is a grown
Oh
my
gosh. Oh my
and
gosh.
you're
A
like,
grown
yeah,
man, his like things are coming off of his utility belt. He
yeah.
comes shooting out of this metal slide and like skids across the pavement. And you're like, this video was supposed to prove it was safe.
Oh my
He's like
gosh.
also face down. So like at some
Yeah.
point during the slide, he was going so fast and like bounced. You can hear him bouncing around in the slide. Comes out face down.
This
Oh
is
my gosh.
It's insane. But like that's what the like luge, the skeleton, like all of those things. I'm like, this is the ice version of the Boston cop slide.
for those listeners who are training for a spring marathon, just like
Mhm.
yourself, and making it through this. Apparently, we've reached like historic levels of cold for the East Coast.
It
How do you
sure
go
feels
about?
like it.
Any encouragement? Any
Qualitatively,
tips or tricks?
this is the
Yeah.
worst. Yeah, well, we just got Punxsutawney Phil's report, and he said 6 more weeks of winter, and he's
Oh
literally
no.
always wrong. So like, I think we're gonna be okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here
No,
we
that's a
are.
good thing. Whatever
Okay.
he
Yeah.
says, he literally has like a 3% accuracy rate.
We don't talk much shit on this podcast, but we talk against groundhogs.
Yeah. So according to Punxsutawney Phil, I think we'll be okay. But also I was hoping that because this December was the coldest for sure since I've like moved up to like the New England area. Like usually November, it's like starting to cool off. December is usually pretty nice and like slowly getting colder. But this year, like it hit December and went straight to the teens, which is
Ugh.
like not normal. And then you're like, all
No one
right, we
wants
got
that.
the bad month out of the way. And then it actually snowed a ton in January. And you're like, that's a lot. Usually February is the worst. Now it's February. I'm a little scared because February is not where this is going to end. It never is.
No.
But like, fingers crossed that this all just means that like March will be okay instead of terrible. Because like last year, December and January were pretty beautiful. And then like February and March are pretty trash. But like you can guarantee February is going to be tough, but it's a short month. And usually once you get to March, you can at least see the light at the end of the tunnel. So, I mean, my advice is like, you got 4 weeks. 4 weeks,
Just suffer
suffer
through.
through it, do what you have to do, and then the sun will come out and everything will be fine. But yeah, I mean, when you're training for a spring marathon, you kind of like make peace with the fact that you're going to be doing like a good bit of your training in some pretty awful weather conditions.
I feel like you just made some promises. You just
For
made
what?
like for March. For those listening, they're going to be like, you're going to get some clips and some DMs at March 1st and be like, you promised me the sun was going to come out.
I promised you nothing. There's no
I remember
guarantees.
when I used to
But
live
it'll
in
be better
Boston.
than last weekend.
Oh, it would be. I was walking to lunch with a friend in the sleet in March, and I was like, did someone promise you it would be nice in March? Because I don't recall it being,
I mean,
so rough. And
historically,
then
March is like pretty bad, but not as bad as February. And then April is a mixed bag.
how do you prepare for what I always like is it tends to be a little warmer in Oregon. We'd have some nice days. We'd do some long runs. I'd post a long run photo in a t-shirt and I'd get a lot of trash talk like, oh, you're unable to. And then I'd run Boston and it would be, I had a couple warm years there. And my friends from New York and Boston would just be like, it's the first hot day I've felt all year.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh.
I mean, it can go
So-
either way because also, like, if you've been training in like a hot climate or a mild climate, and then you come to Boston and like it's a normal
cold.
spring day, so it's 38 and raining.
Ugh.
and that's like a shock to your system versus like the norm, then like that's also kind of rough. But
Yeah. You got to be tough to be a marathoner either
you
way,
do.
even the fall or the spring. I guess
I've
that's the
made
lesson here.
a lot of progress in my relationship with the treadmill recently. 'Cause, like, I mean, like,
Oh,
it's literally there's nowhere to run. It also
well, that's what I
the
was
wind
going to
chill yesterday
ask.
was -5. Can't go outside
I
in that, that's crazy.
I don't think -5 is a great performance condition, but I am actually more concerned about, like, you always hear like, "Oh, so and so took a fall, and then
Oh,
they didn't
that's
think it was
yeah,
any big deal, and
yeah.
then their stride was off, and
No,
yada, yada, yada."
imagine, like, you do all of that work for months, and then you're like, "I don't wanna go on the treadmill," so you go outside. It takes w you don't even have to fall. Just, like,
Oh, yeah,
one
just like,
wrong step, and just, like, all of a sudden something's tweaked, and now your stride's off, or, like, something's strained, and now you're just like, you threw it all away, like, for what? To, like,
yeah.
risk your life in the snow? Like, yeah, I'll go outside when, like, the roads are clear, but, like, they're most certainly not clear yet.
How do you pass the time, Erica, as you've ingratiated a new relationship with the treadmill?
Yeah, I for sure can't watch anything. Like if I was like looking at a show or like reading a book, I feel like I would just get like kind of dizzy because it's
Mm,
just like I don't know, you're just there's something in my brain that's just not squaring with that. Like it makes me like drift a little bit and you don't have the room to
mhm.
drift on a treadmill like side to side because you'll like literally hit the edge or like fall off. So I need to just like look at a singular point straight ahead.
Can you
Um
listen?
oh yeah, like I listen to music.
Okay, good, good. Not a
Um
psycho.
no, I'm not like
Like,
that
quiet.
crazy.
Yeah. I would like to see, speaking of people bumping into you out in the real world, the gym is not the real world, but, like, I would love to be the person shooting one of those videos where I'm documenting the other gym goers as you,
Oh,
like,
that's
drop
funny.
one of your workouts, people, like, it's like the video where the girl picks up, like, so much weight and guys are, like, in the
Yeah.
background,
No,
like,
I
"Wait."
definitely I don't think about it. I only think about it if I'm, like, actually working out because like, I also feel bad depending on which treadmill you end up with because some are just really loud when you get them going, like, under 6-minute pace, so then you're like, "I'm so
Yeah,
sorry, everybody, but, like, I'm gonna be really loud for, like, an hour."
yeah.
But it's
It's
fine. You just have
it's
to
fine.
turn your music up, do your thing. Most people are there to actually work out and, like, aren't paying attention, so, like, it's fine. But, like, I don't enjoy how, like, sweaty you get on the treadmill compared to, like, outside. Because like, I would do the same thing outside, especially in the winter, and be, like, bone dry, and then, like,
Mhm.
I do this on the treadmill, and all of a sudden, I'm, like, sweating more than I did over the summer. And I'm like, "This is gross."
It's gross. Maybe it's a little heat training, maybe it's a little, like, discomfort
Maybe.
adaptations for,
Maybe next summer, I'll
it
do everything on the treadmill
yeah, you'll be
as
like, "I'm
part of
just a
my
big
heat training.
big tread girl." You're like,
Practice sweating.
"Bring on those treadmill sponsorships." Exactly, here we go.
Ugh. But
Oh,
yeah,
man,
safety
yeah.
first. I refuse
Okay.
to be done in by, like, unplowed
Yeah,
sidewalks.
I know. People will be like, "Oh, that street is pretty good," and you're like, "Well, there's pretty good, and then there's, like, able to for you to do 4
And
by
there's,
2
like
mile and not."
if it's pretty good, but, like, there's still stuff out there and you're sharing it with cars, like, it's already dangerous enough to share the road with cars, like, I just, like, be safe.
Yeah, absolutely.
Also,
This
there
is
is, like, a
encouragement.
certain, like, threshold when it's, like, cold where, like, it's actually, like, irritating to, like, breathe air that cold, and, like, I don't like to wear, like, whatever you call those things, like a buff,
Oh
um,
gosh.
like,
I
over your
mean,
face. But, like, I did one tempo last year before Houston outside, which also Kurt told me to do it outside, but everyone else was, like, indoors, and they're like, "I can't believe he's making me go outside," and I was like, "I can't believe he's making me go outside." And he was like, "It's fine, like, it'll be short." My chest hurt for the next, like, 3 days because the wind chill was, like,
yeah,
6, and I was like, "I'm not doing this again." Like, the air was so cold, like, breathing was hard. But, like, the options were, like, do it outside, and, like, I did my warm up and cool down on the treadmill indoors. It was
okay.
like, we're just gonna go outside to be on the roads for, like, a tiny bit, but it was so cold, I was like, "I never wanna do that again." Um,
Yes.
so, like, I mean, I could have fought him harder on it, but I was like, "You know what? It's fine." And, like, I was fine, but I also realized, like, there is a threshold where the air is, like, too cold, and it's, like, just not worth it.
We used to do running outdoors like in August and September when there was wildfire smoke, and
Oh,
don't do that. We've
no.
come to learn better. We'd be like, it's okay. It's like
Also
not that
bad for
bad.
your lungs.
Yeah, it's very bad for your lungs. People are like, because now there's more information. They're like, that's like akin to smoking a pack of cigarettes. And you're like, okay, so you're
Right.
saying it's not helpful for my fitness. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah, I mean, the whole
but
thing is, like, running is supposed to, like, be good for you.
mhm,
Like, it's supposed to be, like, a good thing in your life. So, like, it should not hinder your health.
that should be, I could see the poster. It's like, it's a nice Brooks poster, has a photo of you smiling. You're like, running's supposed to be a good thing for your life.
Right?
And people are like, you're right. I should keep it there in my lived experience. I should keep it a positive thing
Like,
as there.
be hardcore, but don't, like, damage your health, you know?
Hmm. Well, I'm wishing you,
This is why I
I'm
could
wishing
never be a
warmth.
coach. I would
Yeah.
cancel all of my clients.
Yeah, you'd
They're
be
like,
like,
"Oh, I
seems like
went
a bad
outside." I'm
idea.
like, This is not a match for me."
No, you're like, what are you trying to prove? And they're like, I
Yeah.
thought this is what we're doing. And you're like, not for me.
No.
No. Um, oh man, I love this. It's like a good zone to try to stay in, even in marathon training where we're trying to get as fit. Um, man, I'm hoping it gets
Yeah,
warmer for all of you.
same.